just over 50 years ago, 15 people died in McGurk's bar in North Belfast. On this day, half a century ago, a meeting was held which included the RUC's Chief Constable, senior army officials and Stormont's Prime Minister. Campaigners say that meeting was key in spreading disinformation about the bombing, including that the bomb went off as a result of an IRA own goal.
Ciarán MacAirt is the grandson of two of those killed and was one of a group of relatives of the victims of that UVF bombing at McGurk's bar in 1971 who protested at a meeting of the policing board at the start of the month. They asked to meet the Chief Constable, but it hasn't happened yet. I spoke to Ciarán earlier and asked him what he wanted to say to Simon Byrne.
There's a certain circularity here because 50 years after one Chief Constable was promoting these lies to a Northern Ireland Prime Minister. So 50 years later, we're trying to engage with the present Chief Constable at a policing board, and we're snubbed. And I've taken this occasion 50 years to the day since those lies were spoken about our loved ones by one Chief Constable to challenge our Chief Constable today. It's very simple. Prove these police lies or admit once and for all that the police fabricated them.
I want to talk about Simon Byrne then. Have you met with Simon Byrne? Have you ever met? Has he ever agreed to meet you?
We haven't met regarding the McGurk's Bar Massacre. How it was left on the 2nd of December whilst we were down at the policing board, the Chief Executive of the policing board said that we could try and arrange a meeting, and we'll pick up the Chief Executive on that meeting at a later stage. Obviously, December isn't going to be a very good day or a very good month for the families, nor for the Chief Constable as well. But that's definitely something that we will pick up in the new year. But at the moment, we have taken occasion in 50 years from the promulgation of these egregious lies about our loved ones to tackle the Chief Constable today and to challenge him to prove these police lies or admit the police fabricated them. As it stands at the minute, the PSNI is withholding critical evidence. I have asked the PSNI, through Freedom of Information Act, to provenance this information and to tell me where it came from. Now, rather than giving me that information, which should be in police files considering there's been historical investigations into this, which I believe have failed, rather than handing me that information and giving our families a certain degree of closure after 50 years, the Police Service of Northern Ireland have hit me with a refusal notice and say that they can neither confirm nor deny they hold this information. This information is germane to our campaign for truth, and it should be given to the families, or PSNI is going to have to admit that the police fabricated them, or that the McGurk's Bar Massacre.
For a response like that, saying we can neither confirm nor deny having this information, that wouldn't be what people might normally expect from a Freedom of Information request. The information would either be handed over or there would be a reason given for the information not to be handed over. So do you interpret anything from them saying we can neither confirm nor deny that we have the records?
Well, whenever you use the Freedom of Information Act, there are certain sections that they will say and use as an excuse that they cannot hand over that information.
They are, and they will make that explicit.
There is the ubiquitous national security, which I believe is more to do with national shame than national security. On other occasions, you might have health and safety. It might be data protection as well. But we're not looking for people to be named or private information to be given over to us. We believe that in a just and fair society, this should be a simple request for information relating to how and why the RUC, especially a Chief Constable and Head of Special Branch, could tell the Head of Government such lies and get away with it. Either the PSNI has this evidence and should hand it over to our families, or it does not have it, as the RUC and the British Army made it up. Now, to contextualise these lies, they criminalised innocent civilians and allowed mass murderers to go free, and these pro-state extremists killed many more civilians in the years to come.
Ciarán MacAirt speaking to me earlier.